Their eye offset. If you notice in tandem, they're off the tackles. It goes to Johnson, and he's finding daylight as he tiptoes through beautifully. Look at the blockers in front of him all the way down.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video, and welcome to the Gridiron. And before I get started, just wanted to say thank you so much to everyone who's been watching my videos out there. I greatly appreciate it. If you give this video a thumbs up, or maybe leave a comment below, or share the video, I greatly appreciate it. But anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. Well, the Giants had till 4 o'clock, well, actually, yesterday, to get down to 80. Go from 80 down to 85. So when you got, last week he had 90, he had to go from 90 down to 85. Not that, going to be that horrible of a decision. And they had to go from 85 down to 80. Unfortunately, injuries did play a part in their decisions here, but so, I mean, the injuries, I guess, made it easier, but next Tuesday at 4 o'clock, they got to cut 27 guys. They got to go down from 80 to 53. Whew, that's a big jump. So the joint practices they're going to have is going to be pretty big for a lot of guys, because you figure when they play the Patriots in the preseason game this Sunday coming up, there, what I've been reading so far is like maybe the starters might play like the first half, possibly maybe into a little into the third quarter or so, but it seems like they're going to at least get the first half for a lot of the starters. So that doesn't leave a lot of wiggle room there in the second half. I mean, there's 27 guys that ain't going to make it. It's but as I said, these were joint practices that they got today and tomorrow against the Patriots are going to be huge. Because 27 guys. But also one thing is that also you got when you got 32 teams cutting 27 guys, that's a lot of players out there that you can start picking and choosing from too as well. But anyway, the Giants they cut their pretty much, it was like I guess the backup long snapper Carson Tinker. They let him go. They waived cornerback Montre Hardage and tight end Cole Hicutini. I believe that's how you pronounce it. So now without Hicutini there, okay, and they also let Rice and John go as well too, because he had his ankle rolled up on. So between actually 3 guys, they got Cole Hicutini, right, but then Levine Toilolo, right, he got hurt, and then Rice and John, he got hurt. So so now, and then obviously Kyle Rudolph is still trying to come back from an injury. So the Giants are down to 4 healthy tight ends. They had 8 at one, well, more than all healthy, but they had 8 tight ends. Now they're down to 4 healthy ones now. You got Evan Ingram, you got Caden Smith, you got Jake Houseman, all right, and then you got Nakia Griffin-Stewart. So we'll see how many of those guys want to make in the roster. But they also let, obviously, they let Rice and John, he was injured, and then same thing with Quincy Wilson. They let him go because he was injured as well too. Now it's a shame because Quincy Wilson was the one that picked off the Case Keenum pass in the end zone against the Browns, this past weekend in the preseason game. I don't want to say save the game because it's just a preseason game, but the Giants lost 17-13, and the Browns were doing a pretty good job, just kind of walking up and down the field against the Giants defense. So without that interception, possibly they might have walked in and got another touchdown. It might have been 24-13. So the score could have been worse if it wasn't for that interception. So Quincy Wilson was having a decent spring training. It's just kind of tough with the guys that the Giants just picked up. 2 guys in the secondary. They were loaded as it was to begin with. He was going to have a hard time making the final 53 anyway. But then you got Rice and John, who was having a very good game against the Browns. He had 3 receptions. He led the Giants in receiving yards. He had a couple big catches in the game. Unfortunately, for him, it just stinks. You see, you hate anybody, really, on any team. You just hate seeing the injuries. But I mean, he's having such a good, spring training, I keep saying spring training, practice, and, he seemed doing good. It certainly didn't mean he was going to make the final 53, but with 14 seconds to go in the game, I think it was an incomplete pass to Gary Brightwell. He got his ankle rolled up on. 14 seconds left to go in the game, and he hobbled off the field. And I mean, this is the second time in a row. I mean, the second year in a row. Last year he was injured in preseason. He injured his hamstring. Okay, this year it's his ankle. Poor guy can't catch a break. Now, the Wilson, okay, and Rice and John, okay, they both can come back and play with the Giants, all right? But apparently, I was reading some stuff that they have to be released and they need to have like an injury settlement, okay? They were also free to sign with other teams as well, okay? But they are able to come back at a later time and play with the Giants. It has something to do with the injury settlement. They have to wait, after the injury settlement's over, they have to wait so long before they can come back to the Giants. So I think other teams can pick them up before the Giants get a crack at them again. So, the last time we ever see Rice and John or Quincy Wilson, it's a possibility. We'll have to wait and see. But the two guys, there's a possibility they can come back and play, with the Giants at a later point. I'll just leave it at that, okay? Then we got the 2 joint practices. We got one today and one tomorrow. I believe I was reading like 10 o'clock in the morning. That's when the festivities begin. Let's see. You gotta feel that with Belichick and Judge there, I think, I'm sure the temperature is going to be flaring a little bit, but I think they'll be somewhat under control as far as any type of fighting at all or anything. Then, of course, you got the big preseason game coming this Sunday against the Patriots. And then after that, next Tuesday by 4 o'clock, the Giants got to get rid of 27 guys. I mean, I'm sure the coaching staff has a good idea on a decent amount of those 27 guys who they might want to be. But, still want to go out there and give guys a chance. Plus, also, some guys are going to sadly get hurt, so that might change their mind. But it's going to be a big week. Big week. Huge week, And then I saw this article, sadly, I hate bringing up bad news, but Tom Coughlin's wife, Judy, she's been diagnosed with sadly, a rare, incurable brain disorder. And it's pretty much made it where she can hardly even move or speak. I mean, it's just such a shame. They've been married for 54 years, and basically he's with her, 24/7. He's like the caretaker. He's taking care of her for however much longer, sadly, she is with us. So it's sad, very, very sad news. I just wanted to give a little shout out to him. I mean, whether you liked him or not. I know when he first signed up with the job, a lot of guys didn't like him at all. I mean, you come in there and you a little disciplinarian kind of coach going on there. A lot of the guys didn't like him at all. I mean, they started liking him a lot more once they started winning a couple Super Bowls. But in the beginning, they didn't like him at all. Now, he's second, in Giants history, with 102 wins all time. Okay? Steve Owen leads the Giants with 151 wins. Now, in this day and era, it's going to be pretty tough to, beat 51 wins. Steve Owen did it over quite a while, but I mean, the way it is nowadays, it's kind of tough, especially in the New York market. I mean, you just don't have a lot of coaches hanging in there for 15, 20 years. Not only that, maybe hang around for 15 or 20 years to try to get the 151 wins that Steve Owens has, right, to become the leader. But you got to be good enough, okay, you know, to get up to the 151, to be around that long. I mean, maybe Bill Parcells might be the only one I would possibly think of, because, you know, Tom Coughlin, they kind of help maybe push him out the door. You know, was it all his fault? Absolutely not. Did we have some really horrible drafts in there? Oh yeah, yeah. We you know, Jerry Reese came in. We were pretty stocked. You know, we had a nice team, but the cupboard started getting a little bare after the years went by, and we had some very, very bad drafts. So, you know, unfortunately, you know, it fell on Tom Coughlin, because, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, these are the players you got. If you can't win with them, well, it's your fault. So, but you know, you know, 102 wins all time, second, you know, in Giants history with 102 wins. But not only that, him and Bill Parcells, they're both 8-3. Their record with the playoff record with the Giants. Now, Tom Coughlin was 4-4 with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, all in all, okay, Tom Coughlin is 12-7. All right, now 12 playoff wins is, I think it's tied for 8th all time with other coaches. All right, so that's pretty impressive. Okay, obviously Bill Belichick's number 1, but you know, tied all time with 12 playoff wins is pretty doggone impressive. His winning percentage, right, with the Giants, right, actually him and Bill Parcells, they're both 8-3. Their winning percentage of .727, all right, is tied for, would be tied for second all time, all right, because Bill Parcells had some wins and losses with other teams as well too. But I'm saying if you strictly took their record, playoff record, Tom Coughlin and Bill Parcells with the Giants, they're both 8-3. All right, and I was looking online, you know, coaches' records in the playoffs and all that, and I threw out guys. Some guys had like one playoff win, and they were 1-0, or some were 2-0. I'm like, so what I did was I looked at coaches that had at least 10 playoff decisions, whether it's, you know, wins and, you know, like Vince Lombardi. He had 10. He was 9-1. His only loss was his first one. They lost the 1960 NFL championship to the Philadelphia Eagles in Franklin Field. They lost 17-13. Out of that, you know, he's 9-1. Okay, so he's number 1. His winning percentage is .900. So if you took Bill Parcells 8-3, and you took Tom Coughlin's 8-3 record, you know, playoff record with the New York Giants, okay, that's .727. All right, that's very, very impressive. That's tied, okay, for second all time. Now, with Tom Flores. Tom Flores was 8-3 with the Raiders. Okay, but all of his victories and losses were strictly with the Raiders. So I'm just saying, so if you just took Parcells and Coughlin, their record, playoff record with the Giants, they're 8-3. That would be tied for the winning percentage would be tied for second all time with the playoffs. All right, with coaches who have at least 10 decisions, be tied for second all time. That's pretty impressive, right? They went on those 2 magical runs. Well, both of them, Parcells and Coughlin, both went on 2 magical runs. Now, obviously, with Coughlin was in 2007, 2011. They won 4 games in 2007, 4 games 2011. Unfortunately, they, you know, the other 3, you know, you got into the playoffs 3 other times, and they were one and done. But other than that, the 2 magical, you know, that you can never take away, can never forget, you know, that Tom Coughlin, you know, provided the New York Giants. Now, just to go to show you how impressive that Bill Parcells' 8 wins in the playoff are, and how impressive Tom Coughlin's 8 wins in the playoff are with the New York Giants. Giants been around since 1925. Okay, they've had a lot of coaches. They've only had 3 coaches with 2 wins. Right. And then they have 2 other coaches that have 1 win. Right. right, so they have grand total of 7 coaches who have won playoff games with the Giants. Bill Parcells and Tom Coughlin each won 8. Okay, then there's 3 coaches that won 2 games, 2 playoff games, right? Jim Fossil, Jim Lee Howell, and Steve Owen. They all won 2 playoff games. Okay, then Ray Perkins and Dan Reeves each won 1. So if you take those 5 coaches, all right, in Giants history that won playoff games, right, between those 5 coaches, they've won 8 playoff games. Tom Coughlin himself won 8 playoff games. Right, so that's pretty doggone impressive. Right, he's won as many playoff games as all the other coaches combined, except for Bill Parcells. Tom Coughlin's very, very impressive. Now, just also along those lines too, like Bill Parcells, very, no nonsense disciplinary kind of guy. Tom Coughlin, no nonsense kind of disciplinary kind of guy. Right? Bill Parcells won 2 Super Bowls. Tom Coughlin won 2 Super Bowls. Not saying Joe Judge is going to win 2 Super Bowls, but Joe Judge, no nonsense kind of guy. Okay, and what do all of those guys, those 3 guys, all have in common? They all coach with Bill Belichick. Bill Parcells coached the Giants. Bill Belichick was the defensive coordinator. Tom Coughlin, okay, was the New York Giants wide receivers coach in 1990 when they won the Super Bowl, and Bill Belichick was the defensive coordinator. All right. Now, obviously, we know Joe Judge was with the New England Patriots for many years, right, with Bill Belichick as the head football coach as well, too. So all 3 of them, all one way or another, all tied to Bill Belichick. But not only that, but I mean, disciplinarian, all right? No nonsense, disciplinarian kind of guy. Now, I'm not saying that Joe Judge is going to wind up winning his 2 Super Bowls, but even if he doesn't win his 2 Super Bowls, I think that we're on to something here, at least with, his no-nonsense, disciplinarian kind of guy. That, might rub some guys the wrong way, but once we start winning some games, people are going to start appreciating Joe Judge just the way they should and did Tom Coughlin. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there, and go Giants! Woo!